mindful. Let's not push it. Tim Walz racks up $430,000 on bills just to prepare him for a Congress hearing. Check it out. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Tax dollars tonight. It cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to prepare Governor Tim Walz for a congressional hearing in Washington, D.C.
Chief political reporter Tom Hauser was there for that hearing last month, and tonight he's following up, asking the governor about the price tag.
Governor Walz defends the spending of $430,000 in legal fees to prepare for that hearing. He told me he agrees the amount is ridiculous, but he blames Republicans in Congress who invited him and two other Democratic governors to testify so they could be publicly criticized about immigration.
Do you all solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Governor Walz appeared before the House Oversight Committee with governors of Illinois and New York to answer questions about immigration.
Minnesota legislature has passed no such bill making Minnesota a sanctuary state, and I have signed no such law.
Other than brief opening statements, the governors weren't given much time to respond. But Walz certainly should have been prepared. According to the Legislative Advisory Commission, the governor's office requested payment of $430,000 for legal services related to congressional hearing and testimony.
There's only two things that this can be for, y'all. All right? It's only two things. But let's just think about the magnitude of what happens here, because y'all be on me, y'all be on people, y'all talk about pocket watching and being on people's tales of what it is that they doing and if they got a new car. Tim Walz just spent a Rolls Royce on legal services to prepare him for a congressional hearing, which he didn't even really speak at. Let me say that again for the people in the back, because this is not his money. This is one of the reasons why it is important for people to achieve a certain level of power, whether you be the governor of a state or the mayor of a city or some Congress member. He was able to effectively spend without oversight, without problems, any of that stuff. These people spend money like it's going out of style. They have no sense of budget or direction. He spent $430,000 paid taxpayer dollars. $430,000 taxpayer dollars to prepare him for a congressional hearing. So it's only two things that could be amiss here. All right. The first thing that could be amiss is that they just don't give a fuck and they just gonna spend taxpayer dollars and they don't care. And so when you go to work and you bust your ass every day and you see that Minnesota tax, that MI tax, or that MEN tax, they don't care. Listen, once it leave your hands and it go into their hands, they the ones that's going to be the stewards of it. 430 out the window. The other alternative is that it's a finesse. Kickbacks, finesse. Hey, listen, man, prepare me for the congressional hearing. I do want you to actually do some work, so it's not like we not actually taking advantage of the services. Hit me off with 50 on this side. Hit me off with 50 on my contribution. Hit me off with another 100 on this. You pocket $230,000 just for preparation for my congressional hearing. Give me 200. You live good. We live good. So on and so forth. That's the game, baby. That's the rules of the game. For what is supposed to cost $15,000, you can build a state for $30,000. Let me get 200, you get 230, life is good, but we can't actually have you giving me 200 in cash. So we're going to spend it like this, and then we're going to have another 75 going into my reelection campaign. So I want you to be a heavy contributor to that. And then we're going to put another 50 over there. Make sure you put another 50 over there for a trust, or some backdoor trust for my daughter and my son, and then we're going to go from there. So it's really only two options here, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that that's what he did. But what I am telling you is that when you start to look at numbers this big, we can't just sit here and play games and act like this is not a real thing. If you think that they actually prepared $430,000 worth of services because law firms are billable hours. It's the amount of hours that you have to be billable for. So $430,000 of billable hours to prepare him for a congressional hearing, which he didn't even really speak at. You got to be kidding me, bro. If I'm in Minnesota and I'm paying attention to this guy who proposed to be the vice president of the world, right? He wanted to be vice president of the world. I would be going crazy. I would be trying to figure out what's going on. I would be combing through that budget with a fine-tooth comb. All of the journalists over there in Minnesota should be on top of this. If you want to blow up, if you're a content creator, I don't know no content creators that blew it from Minnesota, that blew it from Minneapolis, all right? No content creators from a lot of places. I don't know any that's blowing up from Minneapolis. If you're a Minneapolis content creator and you are in the political or financial space, the first thing that I would be doing is I would be submitting Freedom of Information Acts requests to find out exactly where the money is going, how it's being spent, and I would be holding my governor accountable if I'm over there in Minnesota. If you are a journalist worth your salt, you are supposed to be deep diving into finding out exactly what this legal bill is. This is crazy.
In this memo first obtained by the Star Tribune, this transfer is to pay outside legal counsel for services rendered in preparation for the June 12th House Oversight Committee.
Governor, can you understand why taxpayers might look at a $430,000 legal bill and think that that is excessive?
Yes, and they should be angry at those folks. There's no reason that we needed to be there. We provided all the documentation. We told them that.
Walz says the hearing...
Did you hear the spin? Did you hear the spin? Hey, man, this is Congress's fault. Hey, this is the federal government's fault. They should have never asked me for any kind of transparency in the first place, that I could have just went up there and just told and said what I had already said without any kind of... This is their fault that we had to bring in a $430,000 firm in order to prepare me for a congressional hearing. It's not my fault. It's Congress's fault. Yeah, I would be pissed too at Congress.
Was all about, quote, grandstanding, and he was given little time to respond to any question.
Do you agree with the Attorney General's guidance?
Congressman, what I would say on this is that Minnesota follows all law. I would say
it's a very easy question.
It's ridiculous. It's why we asked them to allow us not to have to be there. Certainly, I would tell you what, it's not where I wanted to spend money. It's not where I wanted to spend my time. And it certainly proved that there was nothing there other than using it as grandstanding.
Could you have used your own legal staff or the Attorney General's office at a much lower cost?
No, probably not. And they didn't have the expertise for this of what they were asking.
Now, there were also travel costs associated with that trip to Washington, D.C. At least 5 people were on the trip, including the governor, his general counsel, a communications aide, and 2 state troopers for security. The governor's office tells me the figures for those expenses are not yet available.
So not only did they spend $430,000 for preparation, they probably spent another $500,000 to get there and get back. State troopers, they got the best job in the world. You get to ride on a private plane, baby, and go over to Washington, D.C., watch Tim Walz cramp up, and then come on back. And y'all got the nerve to be sitting there asking me how much I make or what it is that I do when they just spent $1 million without even blinking. Just $1 million, just gone out the window. $1 million just disappeared. Just famouche. Doesn't even exist anymore. And y'all got the nerve to be sitting there asking people who y'all see every day grinding, hustling, going to get it, contributing back, blowing back, and all of this other type of stuff, and he'll jump on a $1 million trip without even thinking twice. He make Tiffany Henyard look like a child out here. Making Tiffany Henyard over there look like child's play, the way that they finessing taxpayers over there in Minnesota. But y'all love him. Y'all voted for him. Y'all called him America's dad. Remember they tried to give that name, that label to him? He's America's dad. Oh, they just throw y'all money in the ground and y'all don't even care. Let me go get a Cybertruck and of my own money, and oh man, I can't believe it. These politicians take y'all money and y'all don't even question it. Think about that for a second. Y'all don't even trip. I asked the guy on Monday's night panel, I said, man, why you don't vote? Why you don't participate? Why you not trying to understand what goes on in your county and your community? Oh, man, I don't even care. It ain't even a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm all about these hoes. I'm all about these hoes, though, you know? And so I'll be like, man, that's crazy to me because they take y'all money and y'all don't even question. Y'all don't even ask what they doing with it. They take your money. You pay their salary. You pay for police. You pay for fire. You pay for sanitation. You pay state taxes. You do all of this stuff, and you ain't even tripping about it. They take your money, and then they abuse you with it, and you love them for it. I contributed to your business, and you hate me for it. It's okay. It's okay. You got it. See how Thizzle TV2 said, man, F voting. I see why a lot of these women, you know what? I'm starting to switch over a little bit. I'm trying, fellas. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to be an advocate for y'all. I'm trying to push. I'm pushing through, but it's hard. It's hard, man. When y'all just say crazy stuff like fuck voting, how is anybody in your household supposed to follow you niggas? Could you imagine being a woman that's actually smarter than the man that you're talking to that has no leadership skills? Could you imagine that for a second? Do you know the level of humility that you probably have to have as a woman to deal with a nigga that is that Neanderthal, but for the sake of companionship, you just gonna go ahead and see it through? Can you imagine having to lower yourself to that of a servant, to a nigga that is a Neanderthal? To a person that says and with an N. I don't work and I still make money, but it ain't an and. It ain't A-N-D. It's just an N. Do you know how difficult it would have to be to actually be a person to get with a Neanderthal and to be like, you know what? I am going to follow your leadership. I am going to make sure that I do what you tell me to do. And you are going to lead us to greatness. And this nigga is a fucking idiot. That a nigga will sit there and tell you, I don't fucking vote. That's why I have all of your hoes inside of my DMs, bro. I'm telling you the truth. They won't, even if they gotta share me, they want leadership, dog. They want a person that they can look to that actually can tell them to shut the fuck up and go to sleep, and they gonna believe in him. They gonna go right to sleep. You know why? Because I'm not an idiot. That's it. All you got to do is not be a halfway idiot. For the fellas that's out here that's in the streets, let me just give y'all a little bit of insight, all right? If you are not an idiot, you already are winning the game. If you're not an idiot, you are already winning in the game. You won. You ain't got to do nothing else. Don't worry about all of this shit that they talking about online. All you got to do, oh, I'm sorry. I'm playing in your daycare. I got you. I got you, Kristen. For the rest of the show, I'm 100% PG-13. All you have to do is not be an idiot and you're a winner. That's it. Talk about it. I see you. I see you in the chat. Talk about it. Go to sleep. All you got to do is not be an idiot. Somebody that they can believe in. Good God.